I made these mistakes when studying for Step 1. I was getting distracted. I was picking up my phone when I should have been doing my flashcards, when I should have been reviewing practice questions, and this took me off schedule. I'm solid with my score. I'm happy with my performance, but there's always room for improvement. And that was certainly a point where I could have improved quite a bit. What's up, guys? My name is Kai, aka Jordan Kai Simmons, and I'm a fourth year medical student. Just finished interviews for residency last week, and oh man, that is such a huge sigh of relief. Except I still have to wait for match, right? So I'm kind of in between that weird time between finishing interviews and matching, to where my life is still kind of up in the air. I don't really know where the road is going to take me, but still excited about it. In case you guys are wondering, I am applying to otolaryngology, head and neck surgery, but we can talk more about that later. You are probably here because the USMLE Step 1 exam is a huge, scary monster with sharp fangs, and all it wants to do is make your life miserable. And you should fear it. Of course you should fear it. No, really, but it is something that is on the minds of every single first and second year medical student. I know it was on my mind when I was a first and second year medical student, something I thought about on a daily basis. And being a strategic guy like I am, I was always constantly thinking, okay, what's the best way I can approach this? How can I maximize my time, maximize my efficiency so I can get the best score possible? Let's get into some information. When I was a first and a second year medical student, I had the mindset of David Goggins, like, we're only maximizing ourselves at 40% potential and we could be doing way more. So every single day I took that mindset to studying, and it was just like balls to the wall. Let's grind super hard. Let's only get 5 hours of sleep. Let's not take any breaks, no days off. We're going straight into studying from sunup till sundown. But I'll tell you what, I kind of burnt out after that. Like midway through my second year, that was a non-sustainable study technique. Let me tell you what I wish I would have done, and some things that I think worked really well. Number one, best study hack is take a step back from studying. Fall back just a little bit. Like I said, I had that balls to the wall grind mode mentality, and that was non-sustainable. I would really recommend that you guys take a break at least one day a week, or like a half day a week. For me, when I finally, after that period where I burnt out and then I finally got into my dedicated Step 1 study period, I took one day off a week, one full day. Because for 6 days out of the week, I was studying sunup to sundown really intensely. So I needed that one day to recover. During that day, I meal prepped in the morning. I got a good workout in, and I didn't limit my time at the gym. I stayed there as long as I wanted. And then I got some fresh air. If you see my desk set up right here, it's facing the wall. I look at a screen, I look at the wall, and that's pretty isolating. Taking that break, talking to some of my friends outside of medical school, talking to just some friends, having a good time, that was a huge catharsis. I was able to release, I was able to relax, so that when I came back the next day, that following Monday, into my study mode, I had a clear mind. I know a lot of you med students don't like taking breaks, and you think about studying when you should be enjoying yourself, or when you should be taking your break. It's really not fulfilling when you feel guilty about studying while you're not studying, and therefore you can't really engage or be mindful in the task that you're currently doing, right? But you just need to understand that taking a break is a part of the process. You hear people who work out talk about rest days. They're not using that as an excuse just not to work out. Your body legitimately needs rest, and so does your mind. So approach it with that mentality. Understand that you need to take a break, either a full day or a half day. I would recommend the full day personally. Let your mind rest, let that information soak in, so that when you go into the next study day, you can feel refreshed. That leads well into the next tip, number 2, respect your study blocks. So we make these specific study schedules for a reason. At my school, we were required to make a detailed study schedule for the 6 weeks we had for dedicated, show it to the people who were in the education support department. They would review it with us one-on-one. They had an appointment for every single med student, and they really personalize the schedule to what would work for us individually. So that being said, respect your study blocks. If you have a block where you're just doing practice questions, just do those practice questions. If you have a block where you're just doing flashcards, only do the flashcards. Don't let one section bleed into the next section. So if I'm starting out with flashcards, I better not let that flashcard section bleed into my practice question section. Because if that happens, I'm gonna end up getting off schedule for the rest of the day, okay? So really respect those time blocks, because the next thing, number 3, it will help you avoid distractions, right? So number 3 is avoiding distractions. This is essential in just your ability to respect those time blocks. For example, when you're studying, your phone rings or a notification happens, you get a text message, somebody liked your picture on Instagram. You pick the phone up, you look at it, you scroll for a little bit. Next thing you know, 20 minutes blew by, and now you're actually into your break time. And so you think to yourself, okay, well, I just spent that time texting, or I spent that time on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. I'll use this break time to catch up on what I didn't do during that study period. Okay, that's a really bad look, okay? That break you took on your phone, that wasn't a real break. That wasn't planned, and therefore it wasn't fulfilling. You don't get that same satisfaction from a dedicated break where you can really take a sigh of relief. So you wanna avoid that situation at all costs. Make sure you're respecting your time blocks. Don't get distracted. Don't let all these peripheral stimuli take you away from what you're doing at the moment. You need to be mindful to respect that study block. You need to be mindful to be able to complete all those flashcards. And when you take your break, then you can get on your phone. I made these mistakes when studying for step 1. I was getting distracted. I was picking up my phone when I should have been doing my flashcards, when I should have been reviewing practice questions, and this took me off schedule. I'm solid with my score. I'm happy with my performance, but there's always room for improvement. And that was certainly a point where I could have improved quite a bit. I'm still a millennial. Phones are still relatively new technology, but that's old school, right? Turn the phone off, put it in another room. Get rid of it, get rid of that distraction. What I actually did that I found was super helpful for me was I downloaded this app called Forest. Forest is an app that allows you to plant like theoretical trees, and you have to stay in the app while you're doing it, because if you exit the app, it's gonna kill your tree. So it essentially kind of locks you out of your phone. And I love this app. I swear by it. I made all my friends download the app so I could add them as friends on the app. I recommend you guys download it too. I'm not getting paid or sponsored by them, but I got mad love for that app. You should check it out. Another thing that you can do that I've seen my friends do, there's actually a way that you can go on your phone and turn the whole color scale of the phone to black and white. Your phone is very visually stimulating, but if you take away some of that visual stimulation, you get less satisfaction, and I'm guessing you're less likely to be on your phone. I actually didn't take that step. I thought it made my phone too boring, and I was just not willing to do it. So Forest worked for me. Turning my phone off worked for me. And also deleting apps. I'm big on scrolling through Instagram for no reason at all. When I was doing my dedicated step 1 study, I deleted Instagram. I just straight up deleted it. And honestly, that was a huge weight off my shoulders. But it was a distraction. I knew I had to get rid of it, so I pulled the plug. I ended up saving myself a lot of time and a lot of headache in the long run. So the next most important thing when you are trying to increase productivity and you're trying to stick to your schedule is make sure you're getting adequate amounts of sleep, okay? When I was a first and a second year medical student, I had this ridiculous mentality that I should be operating on 5 hours of sleep. I was listening to podcasts with like Arnold Schwarzenegger and like other guys who were just like, if you can't sleep for 5 hours, you need to sleep faster, because that's all you need is just 5 hours. I took that to heart. I tried to sleep 5 hours and then wake up and do some really complex mental processing. That did not bode well for me. I was able to survive off of 5 hours of sleep for a couple months, but again, that's not sustainable. If you aren't sleeping at least 7 hours a night, you are compromising some brain power, period, okay? Period. If you wake up and you feel groggy and at any point throughout the day you're kind of feeling tired, you need to be getting more sleep, okay? At least 7 hours. When I was sleeping for 5 hours, I would wake up, I would feel super tired, and I'm just like, that's just me being groggy in the morning. I'm gonna have some coffee, we're gonna get through this. That feeling of tiredness lasted throughout the day. Now, I get about 7 hours a night, and that's my sweet spot. When it comes to my bedtime, which is usually around 10 p.m., I'm not that tired, but I know it's bedtime, and so I go to bed anyway. Wake up the next morning at 5, I feel refreshed, I'm ready to go, and then boom, we can start the morning routine. In order for you to be most effective as an individual and use all of this precious real estate that you got right up here, you need to be getting some sleep, bruh. Get some sleep. If you take the phone into the bed, you're messing up. I'm telling you right now, your bed is for sleeping. Do that. So the last thing you gotta do is stay driven. You have to stay driven and you have to keep the end goal in mind, right? I've spoken to too many people who, a month out from their exam, they're just really feeling the weight of all the study time, all the hours they put in, because it's exhausting. And every single time I remind them, remember why you did this in the first place. If you can remember why you did this in the first place, that will help carry you through so many situations. I'll tell you what helps drive me. Anytime I'm slacking, if somebody were to tell me, you don't want it enough, that lights a fire in my belly. Okay, I'm not even kidding. I can tell you to tell it to me and it still works. That's how much of a motivating factor it is. Anybody tells me, you know what, Kai, I see what you're doing. You're slacking. You don't want it that bad. I go crazy. I'm just like, no, I do want it. I do want it. And then I'll just hop straight into working. So figure out what it is that really drives you guys. Figure out what it is that helps light that fire in your belly to keep you motivated, okay? And remember why you did this in the first place. That will help carry you through a lot of situations. That's a wrap. That's all I got for you guys. From 1 to 5, it's fall back a little bit from studying. Take that break. Number 2 is respect your time blocks. Do what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it. Number 3, to help you with the first 2, is kill those distractions. Make your phone black and white. Download the Forest app so you're not getting distracted. Number 4, super important, super underrated, sleep. At least 7 hours a night, okay? At least. Get your ass to bed, go, all right? And the last one, you guys, is just stay driven. Remember why you did this in the first place. Light that fire in your belly to keep you pushing forward. This is a finite amount of time. So just stay driven, stay in the pocket, stay focused. You guys got this. I'm so proud of you, okay? Let me know down in the comments section what study hacks you guys use. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like this video. We need to run the likes up, you guys. We need to run these likes up so we can get this video, this content to more eyes and more people can see this. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. My first goal for this channel is to get to 1,000 subscribers. We'll just say 1,000 subscribers within like 2 months from this video, okay? We'll see what happens. I appreciate you guys for being here and I'll catch you in the next one.